Hello and welcome to a yoga for mixed martial arts practice. If you haven't already, please find a space and we'll begin. So starting in a child's pose, toes touching together, knees apart, sinking your body down to the ground, stretching out your arms in front of you and reconnecting to your breath with slow, deep inhales and exhales. Try to let go of any tension you might be holding on to, maybe in your jaw or your hips. And slowly preparing for movement, webbing your hands so that you are on your fingers and then walking them both over to the right hand side, stretching out the left part of your body. If you wish, you can stack your left hand on top of your right hand. Now slowly move over to the left hand side, this time stretching out the right side of the body. Once again, you can stack your right hand on top of your left hand if you want a deeper stretch. And coming back to center, and this time you're going to thread your right arm through and under your left arm, and you should feel a nice stretch on that right shoulder. In martial arts, we can use our shoulders a lot and they can get quite tight, so it's really important to stretch them out. And swapping sides, so place your right hand back out and thread your left hand underneath, this time stretching out your left shoulder. Remember to keep the deep breath, staying present in the moment. So now unthreading and coming to an all fours position. Once you are there, just create a figure 8 shape with your body, circularizing around, warming up the wrists and the rest of your body, keeping free with the movement. And if you haven't already, swap directions of the circles, going the other way, just connecting to the breath as you do this. Come back to a neutral position and now turn your fingers towards you if this is accessible and start doing circles to get into the wrists even further, swapping directions with the circles. Okay, so now place the backs of your wrists on the ground, and this time you're just going to go side to side, stretching the wrist the other direction, being very present about what is too much and maybe what is too little as well, getting to that optimal level. Okay, so shaking the wrists off, placing them back down as per normal, and then just getting into our cats and cows, inhaling for cow and exhaling for our cats. So inhale cow, looking up, exhaling cat, looking towards your abdominals. Last couple before we return back to central position. Tuck your toes under and sit back onto your toes. If you need to, just adjust the toes, then grab the hands together and roll the wrists out both directions. So similar to a particular fighter used to do this just before their fights. Bonus points if you can guess who it is. Shaking the wrists off, and then we're going to get into our shoulders, so clasping our hands behind our back. If you cannot do this, then just assist as much as you can the top hand, or just get it as close as you can, maybe grabbing onto your clothing instead. Swapping sides now. One side may well be tighter than the other. Okay, so releasing the hands and then walking forwards again back into our tabletop position, and then we're going to stretch our left foot back, and then you're going to push forwards and backwards, getting into the Achilles, stretching the back of our calves, and then lifting that left leg off the ground, flexing your foot, and then lift your right hand off the ground, and then knee to elbow on the inhale, and then exhale back out again. Inhale, knee to elbow, exhale, extend. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Okay, so if you can, try to grab your foot with your right hand. If not, just stay in the position previously and just work on that core stability. Now extend your arms and leg out again, and then lightly place them back to the ground. Swapping foot, right foot places back and rocking forwards and backwards, stretching out that calf muscle and the Achilles tendon before lifting that foot up and flexing the right foot, and this time lifting our left arm off the ground and knee to elbow once again. And then exhale, extend. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now try to grab with your left hand your foot. If not, just hold the other position previously. This one just allows you to stretch off that quadricep that bit more and shoulder. Okay, so lightly extend back out and then place the hand and leg back onto the ground, tucking your toes and lift your knees an inch off the ground. This is also working into the core a little bit. And now you're going to prepare to do your sit-throughs. So you're sitting through, your right leg goes out to the side and then you swap round. And essentially, when your right leg comes out, your left arm comes off the ground. The left leg comes out, your right hand comes off the ground. And this is a very familiar technique for those who do wrestling or jiu-jitsu, and a great way of escaping that turtle position or all fours position. Coming back to neutral and into your first downward dog, just moving however you wish to make yourself feel comfortable, trying to achieve that upside down V shape, remembering to keep with our deep breathing. Slowly walk your feet up to your hands, coming into a ragdoll position, feet hip distance apart, grabbing opposite elbows, bending your knees as much as you need to be able to feel that release on the lower back and a stretch across the hamstrings. Let the hands release onto the ground and then vertebra by vertebra roll all the way up to a standing position as slowly as you can, and then just roll out your shoulders once you get up to the top. Okay, so walk to the top of your mat or to the front of your room, and then inhaling, reaching up, exhale, fold over, inhale, flat back, exhale, walk, step or jump your feet back to a plank position, bending your elbows and coming to an upward dog, or if you wish, a low cobra, and then meeting back in a downward dog position. We are going to repeat this 2 more times. So looking forward, walk, step or jump to the front of your mat, inhale, flat back, exhale, fold forwards, inhale all the way to the top, and then exhale, fold forwards immediately, then inhaling back to flat back, exhaling all the way down, Chaturanga, upward dog, back to downward dog. 1 more time. So this is our sun salutations. So walk, step or jump to the front of your mat, inhale, flat back, exhale, fold forwards, inhale all the way to the top, exhale, fold forwards, inhale, flat back, exhale, walk, step or jump your feet all the way back, straight through Chaturanga to upward dog, and then into our downward dog position once again. Preparing to raise our right leg up to our 3-legged dog, and then we're going to practice our 2-pointer position. So slowly lifting up our left arm from the ground. It's a challenging one for the core, but in mixed martial arts, especially in grappling, having a good core can often help you not get swept. Okay, so bringing your right foot all the way forwards between your hands, dropping your left knee to the ground, inhaling up, and then stretching our left hip, and then fold back forwards again, and then lift into our half splits position, lifting our left leg as high as we can and bending towards our right knee, then lifting up and raising our leg extended right in front of us in like a front kick position. And then we are going to practice, as we swivel to the side a bit, some roundhouse kicks, nice and slowly. So chambering it in and kicking out 3 times, nice and slowly and controlled. Once you've done this, come back to facing forwards, and then kick your left foot back, and your arms can be aeroplane wings next to the body. You're going to hold this warrior 3 before slowly dropping into a high lunge, left foot onto the ground, and trying to get as low as we can in this position, and then out to our warrior 2, so our hips turn out to the side. And with this warrior 2, we can remember how yoga and martial arts are quite connected. Okay, so reverse the warrior, come to a low lunge, kick the right foot back, maybe keeping it off the ground as we do the Chaturanga to upward dog, and then back to downward dog position, reconnecting with our deep breathing. Raising up the left leg, and once again trying to go for our 2-pointer position, taking off our right hand from the ground if possible, otherwise maybe just come into the fingertips or staying in the 3-legged dog position. Holding, and then preparing to place the right hand back to the ground, stepping the left foot all the way to the front of the mat between your hands, raising up into our low lunge position, stretching out the front of our right hip this time, remembering to breathe deeply, And then coming forwards into our half splits position, trying to bend towards our left knee and lift our right leg as high as we can. Lifting up, kicking our right foot forwards and bringing our hands to heart center. And then if you wish, you can practice with me some slow kicks, just turning out to the side and getting our guard. And then 3 times just kicking out, extending the leg, and then re-chambering it as slowly as you can. Once you've done this, we're going to go into our warrior 3 position. So kicking our right leg back, maybe having the arms aeroplane wings next to you, trying to keep as flat back as possible, and then lightly placing our right foot onto the ground into our high lunge position, keeping our hips facing forwards for now. Okay, so turning our hips to the sides into our warrior 2 position, making sure our arms are parallel to the ground. Be strong in this position, holding but also breathing. Now inhaling, reverse the warrior, exhale, come back to your low lunge, hands on the ground, kicking your left foot back, maybe keeping off the ground as you do your Chaturanga to upward dog, and then back to downward dog. Okay, so we're going to do that sequence once again, this time a bit faster, so just flowing through it, adding breath to movement. So lifting our right leg off the ground for 3-legged dog, and then placing this between our hands and dropping our back knee for a low lunge, and then coming forwards into our half splits position, kicking our foot forwards and up, coming to one leg, and then preparing to do our roundhouse kick practice. So just practicing this 3 times, in and out slowly. Doesn't matter what height the kick is at, just as long as there's good control on this. And then coming back so hips are facing forwards again, kicking our foot all the way back into our warrior 3 position, and then moving straight through this into our high lunge, hips facing forwards, and then hips facing to the side, warrior 2, reverse the warrior on the inhale, and then exhale all the way back down, kicking the right foot back, maybe keeping this up in the air as you go through your upward dog, and then we all meet back in our downward dog position. Okay, so the left side, lifting our left leg up, 3-legged dog, placing the foot between the hands, dropping the right knee, lifting up for a low lunge, and then coming to our half splits position, transferring our weight forwards, and then kicking our foot up and coming into our standing position. Of course, you have the option of just staying here, but if you wish to challenge yourself a bit more, turning to the side a bit and setting up for our 3 slow kicks in and out, just practicing the motor control on the movement. Of course, this will really benefit your technique, but also the level of control you have over your kicks. And then once you've done this, kicking your foot back into your warrior 3 before moving through into your high lunge position, keeping your hips forwards, And then turn your hips to the side and come to your warrior 2. Inhaling, reverse the warrior. Exhaling, come back to the ground, kicking the left foot back, maybe keeping this off the ground, and going through your upward dog, and we meet back in our downward dog position. Okay, so we're going to come to Malasana, or our yoga squat, so jumping forwards into our low squat position, palms together, elbows pushing our knees apart, just so that we can get a deeper stretch into the hips. If you can't get this slow down, then of course you can stay a bit higher. And then we're going to walk our feet all the way back and then walk forwards, almost like we're a duck. So once again, walking backwards in our squat position, and then once you meet the back of the mat, then walking forwards again. And this relates to some of the grappling movements we may encounter. Okay, so rocking forwards and then back and coming back into our squat each time. So rocking forwards and backwards, giving our back a massage. If you can't come all the way up to a squat, then just rock forwards and back without coming to the squat position. And then once you've done this, returning back to our squat again, and then coming to a high boat position, trying to keep our chest as open as we can, and then go into a low boat position, high boat, low boat. Of course, it's working your core, high boat and low boat, high boat, and then low boat, holding here for a couple seconds, and then relaxing back onto the ground. Okay, so now we're gonna do some bridging. So just making sure that our feet aren't too far away from our hips, and then slowly lifting your hips off from the ground, maybe tucking your shoulders underneath and clasping your hands for a deeper bridge position. And this is a great moment to really connect to your breathing. Okay, so last deep inhale and exhale, releasing the grip with our hands if we took this, and rolling back down. Now we're going to do this bridging with movement a bit more. So bridging over each shoulder, just going one side to the other side, looking over our shoulder and tapping to the side. Keep moving through this, and of course this is a technique used in Jiu-Jitsu a lot to get someone off from on top of you, and therefore let's just keep moving through this, going from one side to the other side. So coming back down to rest, bring your knees in and maybe rocking side to side, or creating circles with your knees both directions to massage out the lower spine. We are now going to prepare for our shoulder stand, so looking to kick our feet up into the air and lift our hips off the ground. If this isn't accessible, then just lift your legs up and keep your hips on the ground. Otherwise, support your lower back with your hands, and make sure you don't look side to side as you do this. Keep your gaze fixed on your feet or the ceiling above you. Okay, so coming into our plow pose, bringing our feet down to the ground and our legs straight. You can also clasp your hands behind you to get a bit of a shoulder stretch as well. And then we are going to do ear compression pose. So bringing our knees to our ears, bending our legs, and maybe grabbing around our legs to give us a bit of a tighter squeeze. This is relatable to getting stacked in Jiu-Jitsu, and by doing this stretch it can mean that it alleviates the pressure when somebody tries to do this on you in sparring. Okay, so slowly rolling vertebra by vertebra back down to the ground. So coming to the end of our practice, stacking our right ankle over our left knee, maybe grabbing our left shin, hamstring, and bringing this as close as we can to our chest, stretching out our right hip. Only a couple more poses now before we come to our final pose. Releasing the leg to the ground, keeping the right ankle stacked over the top. Let the legs fall to the left side, arms come to a T, and maybe looking to the right, getting a nice deep stretch through the twisted position. Breathing here, and then coming back up, swapping the legs, stacking your left ankle over your right knee, grabbing either your hamstring or shin, and then feeling the stretch down our left hip. Of course, this is useful for positions like rubber guard or maybe triangles. It's always helpful to have more flexibility for certain submissions. Okay, so releasing the shin and letting the legs stay in the same position but fall to the right hand side, maybe looking out to the left, ensuring your shoulders are still connected to the ground, arms stretched out in a T position, letting go of any tension as we come to an end to our practice. Slowly unwinding, uncrossing the legs, maybe windshield wiping our legs side to side, coming to our final pose of Shavasana, corpse pose. Great time to fit in some meditation from here, be present in the body, feeling how it is after this practice. Thank you for practicing with me, and until next time, have yourself a great week.